Today, we'll be taking a look at Yamdu's user group and unit functions. And this is especially useful when we need to assign specific tasks or make announcements to a select group of people instead of messaging everyone involved in the project. Now, before stepping into the core aspects of this feature, let's just set up everything from the beginning. So first, we're going to create a new user group by selecting the Create User Group. Then, in this pop-up window, we're going to enter a name for the new user group, and let's call it International Producers. Next, we're given the option of displaying the group in the crew list, which will actually be hidden per default. Then, all that's left to do is add our users and/or external contacts to the group. And once we're finished, let's go ahead and create the new user group. And now, our newly created group can be seen in the user group section. If we wanted to change something like renaming the group, we can simply do so by clicking on the name of the group to apply those changes. And we can also rearrange the order of our groups by dragging and dropping them using the buttons on the left. But we always have to be aware that the order of our groups will actually impact the order of how our crew list is set up. Apart from that, we'll always be given the option of deleting the group using the quick function on the right side. We can always click on the group and make changes to its profile. Under General Information, we can choose to rename the group or hide the group from the crew list entirely. And we can always add new users to the group or remove certain members. And because we made our group visible in the crew list, we'll be able to see it under the crew list section. We can always edit the group by selecting it, which will allow us to add members, rearrange the order in which members will appear, and we can also hide the members from the group or delete them entirely. And moving to the top of the crew list is the Edit Department option. Here, we can again create a new user group and also have the option of making the group from the crew list hidden or visible, as well as rearrange the order of our group without ever having to jump back into the user group section. A key feature of the user groups is the ability to make announcements directed to a specific group. We need to add a title and the message that we want to share with the group in mind. Then we can select just the group that we want to send the announcement to. And we actually have the option of excluding the external contacts from this announcement, which is helpful since they may not be actively involved in the project. Then we can even add files to the announcements to share any changes to specific documents. And with it, we can also add an expiration date, so that the contents of the announcements will only be valid for a specific length of time. Aside from direct announcements, we can also assign a task to this group if needed. Again, we're just going to go ahead and add a title and description of the task required. Then let's go ahead and select the groups we need to complete this task. And similar to the announcements, we can set a deadline for this task as well. Once we're finished, we can hover over the Assign To column and see the groups assigned to the task. Then we can jump into Files and Documents and make comments directed to our specific group, which they will be notified of. And finally, we're going to be discussing units, which are mainly used for the purposes of scheduling. And more specifically, units can be used when shooting multiple locations at the same time. We can group different individuals into a specific unit, and they will be responsible for shooting a specific scene in one location. To create a new unit, we simply select Create Unit under the Unit section from the top row. Then we can enter a name, and then go on and select users and external contacts like we did for user groups. Now in the shooting schedule, we'll be able to assign a unit to a shooting phase or assign individual units to specific scenes. And that was a quick look at Yamdu's user groups and unit functions. We'll see you in the next video.